Assalamu alaikum and hello viewers, researcher. Today I am with you with another new video which is very important. As you can see, how to address challenging review comments. So from the title, as you can see, I have provided here some unique feature which is challenging review comments. It's not only just simple comments which are measured in nature. As we know, many of the young researchers, early career researchers, PhD students, master students, postdoctoral research fellow face difficulties to address some of the challenging comments. As a result, papers are rejected. In my view, even getting a major comments to address the comments of major review is an opportunity for researcher. So if these opportunities cannot be utilized properly, so paper will be rejected, and as a result, there will be a lot of panic, there will be a lot of frustrations, because again, the new paper has to be submitted somewhere else. It will go through again review process, sometimes again 3 reviewers, 4 reviewers, editor comments, again it might be rejected. So certainly this will create a lot of panic, frustration, discomfort among the researchers. So to avoid this types of situation, when there are major comments, there are challenging comments. So if new researcher, young researcher, early career researcher take these points, challenging points, serious points seriously, I'm sure that your paper will be published. So to address that systematically, professionally, so that at the end your paper is accepted, that is basically my main aim and purpose of this video. So let's categorize the different types of comments made by reviewers particularly. So as you can see, comments can be major comments, serious comments, very challenging comments, those which are difficult in nature. Sometimes again, need to conduct experiment, measure rework, measure result and discussions, new results need to be provided. So it need to be completely revamped. That is basically called the major comments. And this is actually the major problem and challenges to address. And of course, there are some minor comments, minor in nature, just change the figure titles, figure numbers, reference numbers. These are very minor in nature and should not be so much concerned. So authors must be concerned with the major comments. And comments also, it can be technical comments, technical matters. As you know, paper has technical contents. Paper also has some clarity, language, punctuation. So there are also language comments, punctuation, typo, spelling. So all this, I think that when you are going to revise, categorize them according to this way, and you put your effort accordingly. So if comments are major, so provide major or serious attention and address them fast. So to make things easier, convenient, better for the researcher, so I have identified here what are actually the major comments. And this might be also question from some of you, that what are actually the major comments that will reject the paper. So as you know, the paper has number of components, elements. So based on my 25 years of experience, I strongly feel that editors and reviewers particularly, first of all, will be looking for novelty. As you know, when we write our paper, we develop our paper, so some of us address novelty very strongly, very seriously. As a result, there will not be much comments on this novelty. But again, it can be no novelty, it can be poor, it can be marginal. So how you are going to present it? And these things, how to address novelties, I will not talk much here because I have already addressed this in the social media, particularly for last few posting on how to address novelty in a stronger way. So please, and also some of my videos in my YouTube channel, particularly how to write original paper with better impact. So I have given the necessary guidelines on how to address novelty. But today's focus is actually how to address reviewer comments when there are points, there are issue about the novelty. Okay, sometimes it may be mentioned that it was not clearly identified and highlighted. So there will be certainly comments on the novelty, and this is one of the major reasons papers are rejected. So please pay sufficient attention, serious attention in addressing this and also in revising this if there are comments on novelty. So in the introduction part, and even if there are sometimes literature part separately, so there might be comments on literature review. So one comment always there is that literature review is not critically analyzed. Okay, so it was not critically reviewed. It was only positive findings are highlighted. Again, how to address critical review of literature, I have extensively discussed in a video, that is how to write a high impact review article. Please explore that video to address this critical review of literature. I will not go much on that. Then, as you know, the methodology part is one of the major component that produces data results. So this part also, there are comments that methodology is flawed. Okay, meaning that proper study was not done to identify the necessary critical parameters. So it might be comments also that the paper is not technically sound. And particularly, there are some important design parameters, experimental parameters are missing. Whole methodology part is not well organized, is not coherent. So these are basically some of the major comments, normally based on my experience, I have highlighted here. Of course, there might be some other reasons. So as you know, I cannot put each and every comments. Again, it can vary from the reviewers, editors. Okay, it may vary, but these are some of the ways, some of the comments that is categorized as major comments. Particularly, if there are serious problem in the methodology, that will be the comments by the reviewers, experts. And then the next part is very important part, as you know, the result and discussion section. Normally here, if sufficient data, sufficient analysis are not provided, so there will be opportunities for the reviewers to make the comment that there are only few data tables and few results. And also most importantly, in the result and discussion, actually, it should be critically analyzed. There should be strong reasoning phenomena. It is not just simply one liner or one sentence, just limited discussion actually will not make it strong discussion. And as a result, to published in high quality journal, good impact factor journal, actually you need to provide strong reasoning phenomena, critical analysis, comparison with others' results, validation of your results. So sometimes these are not enough, these are not provided, these are not sufficient, these are missing. There can be also the error analysis, how your results are strong, robust, to prove that actually you need to do the error analysis. And in most cases, that error analysis, error bar, sensitivity analysis are not provided. So again, this will be a comments, and due to this actually, this will be considered as a major comments. And the last part, as you know, the conclusion part, sometimes it is written very poorly. It is not, some of the objectives are not addressed in the conclusions, findings are not strong. Some weak results are provided there. So again, you need to see some good examples of how to write conclusion in a proper way. So again, have a look some of my videos on how to write high quality original paper. I have highlighted there how to write a good conclusions in aligning with the objectives, particularly highlighting strongly the findings, okay, in the bullet form, in the paragraph form, and in the writing text form in different way. And finally, this is also one of the major challenges, difficulties faced by non-native English speakers. As you know, we are not born to speak in English, so that's why I think we face difficulties. Sometimes some of the countries undergraduate studies are all in their own mother tongue. As a result, they are not good at English language. And as you know, writing is an art. It really needs a lot of effort to write a good quality piece of work. So in such situation, who does not have enough or strong knowledge on language clarity, certainly the paper will be extremely poor, and even your good results also, you cannot communicate with the scientific community properly, and as a result, there will be harsh comments, extremely poor language, rough language, clarity is also extremely poor. So due to such comments, actually, editors, reviewers will not recommend it to be published, as you cannot promote your work, others cannot understand, it may not be able to cite. So I think to avoid these things, to write the content in a scientific way, in a professional way, in a good quality, so that others really can understand, can entice the other readers. I think this is where also sometimes there are serious comments to address the language and clarity, particularly those who are weak in English language. So let me share my general advice before going to the in-depth ways how one can address reviewer comments in a better way, stronger way. So always it is better to be polite, to start with thanking, appreciating editors, reviewers for their constructive comments. Constructive comments, as you know, they are voluntarily doing the job. In most cases, they are not paid. So if we appreciate their effort, I think this is the way in any good work quality review process. I think we need to appreciate both editors and reviewers, particularly when we feel that there are constructive comments. Don't take any single comments lightly to avoid rejection. This is where sometimes due to rush, due to, we want to submit as quickly as possible. So some of the comments are not addressed appropriately. They are addressed partially, not enough focus are given. So as a result, you are making your response very weak. So again, as you know, some reviewers are very harsh, very serious. So they will check each and every point. So if they feel that the comments are lightly addressed, not sufficiently addressed, so it might be rejected. And again, this will create a lot of panics and frustration. As you know, rejection is normally negative things, and researcher cannot take it positively in some cases. So again, you are dealing with editors, reviewers. They are highly experienced people, professional people. So your language, your attitude, behavior should be professional. This is where also some researchers make mistakes. Sometimes they become reactive, emotional. They scold, they misbehave with the reviewers. They want to undermine, they want to insult. They want to really behave very badly, wrongly. And I think this is, again, you are creating something for yourself, detrimental, damaging. As you know, reviewers, editors are in the position of decision-making process. So if our behavior, our emotion is negative, certainly this will also influence them. They are also human beings. As I mentioned, they are in the position of making a decision. So we really need to be a professional. We need to show our professional behaviors. Discuss with all team members to get their feedback. So as you know, some team members are highly experienced. For example, if I am the team leader and there are students, there are new researchers, in that case, certainly they have to discuss with me. And similarly, when you are a junior member, I think certainly you need to discuss with the experienced team members, supervisors, mentors, to get their feedback, how to address the comments professionally and strongly. So in such a situation, if you feel that you need to invite some experts who really can address the major challenging comments, probably maybe some experimental work needed and you don't have that enough expertise, you are hesitant, your full team members are hesitant, your supervisor also cannot give enough support. So I think in that case, invite experts who have enough knowledge, expertise, publish good quality paper in that journal, invite them to address all those comments with sufficient contribution. This is again the purpose of collaboration. So many researchers actually practice this. In my view, is a good practice also to overcome some of the challenges. Again, to make it stronger, conduct additional literature study. As you know, there are literature study to improve the introduction, novelty, methodology part, result, and discussion. I think this is another important features. Sometimes, again, literature studies are done very lightly, not enough, not sufficiently, and as a result, you are making your responses very weak. So that's why I think this is one of the approach. Study few relevant papers, good quality papers, again and again, understand how they have written certain parts and what is your question. Try to understand that question also, problems, address them, improve the comments of the editors and reviewers based on some of the input taken from the literature studies. Maybe your answer is already in the literature. So you take that, you provide in your support with necessary references. This will demonstrate that you have done your additional work, you have studied literature seriously, you have discussed with other team members. Then you can convince actually the editors and reviewers that you are serious, your comments are addressed appropriately, strongly, and certainly the reviewers, editors will be very, very happy, impressed. Communicate with the editors if comments are not clear or vague. As you know, sometimes reviewer gives comments. They are also inexperienced reviewers in some cases. So comments may not be clear, may be vague. So in that case, I think you can directly write to the editor-in-chief to raise your concern that the comments are not clear. So can you please directly communicate with the reviewers, as you don't have contact, you don't know who are reviewers, only editor-in-chief or handling editor knows. So this is another way to make be more clear about the comments made by the reviewers. Highlight the corrections over the manuscript. So this is one of the practice, and in my last slide, I will show you where corrections have been made. Make colorful highlight so that reviewers, editors can easily see that you have done the corrections on this specific page numbers, line numbers. Make a clean manuscript without showing corrections. Without highlighting the corrections. So you need one manuscript that is with the highlighting, another manuscript with the clean, because that can be, if accepted, that can be used by the publisher. So two types of manuscript should be downloaded, should be uploaded in the system. Write a strong cover letter, again highlighting the major corrections you have made to highlight to the editor-in-chief, so that editor-in-chief also convinced that you have done sufficient correction. And also this is some hidden reason. Sometimes, as you know, a reviewer will be asking probably his or her own papers to be cited. So in this case, I think you need to raise your concern. These are unethical practice. We suspect that these are the papers of reviewers. So to avoid this unethical practice, please take note that these are the papers we suspect highlighted by the reviewers. So we found that none of the papers are relevant, not justified, not relevant. So we cannot use all those papers. However, in some cases, maybe one of the paper is relevant, so we cite it. So I think this is the professional way to raise the concern. And certainly, I think these are ethical matters, unprofessional matters. So editor-in-chief will take this seriously. And this is the way to raise this concern, and also purpose of writing a strong cover letter. Now I will be going the process of addressing the reviewer comments in a stronger way, in a better way, in a professional way. As you can see, I have published more than 600 journal papers, high quality papers. So if you multiply by 3, so maybe it is almost 2,000 reviewer comments. So I am also reviewer, I am also examiners, panel members. So these are basically my experience. Based on my experience, I feel that if you can address the comments in this way, I'm sure that I'm confident that inshallah your paper will be accepted. Your paper will not be rejected in most cases. So that is basically my unique experience I'm sharing here through this video. So as I mentioned, the novelty is one of the major challenges. So I have just highlighted one point here. There can be in different ways. You know, the reviewers, editors can write it in different way, but I'm just highlighting here in relation with the comments made by the reviewers or editors on novelty. So it can be written that novelty is very weak. Okay, so in that case, what you can do, as you can see, I have highlighted here, I have added 4 points. So authors have revisited the novelty by checking the whole contents of the paper, because reviewers are saying that novelties are weak. So one of the approaches is that you revisited, you have gone through the whole paper again. Introduction part, literature review part, result discussion part, methodology part, all the part you have revisited, you have checked, and probably you have found that in the result and discussion section, 2 extra novelties are actually you did not highlight. This is how also when I discuss with my students, when they address this novelty slightly, I ask them, what are the additional things you have done? What are the better things you have done? So when I discuss with them, I can see that there are some missing elements. So then since I'm also engaged, so I can add additional novelties based on my engagement as well. So this is how we call it. We revisited the whole paper. We have checked the whole content, particularly result and discussion section, and also we have critically reviewed the literature, and as a result, we have come out with it. Okay, so number 1, we have checked the whole paper content and improved it further at the relevant section. Second thing, novelty also can be improved by studying the literature review. Okay, so we have critically reviewed literature. We have conducted the literature review, further literature review critically, and we have identified few novelties compared to available literature, and we have included in our revised manuscript at the introduction section. Number 3, results. As you know, the novelties will be highlighted, will be demonstrated at the result and discussion section. So there again, you can check your results and you can see that there are extra 2 more novelties you have identified, which were not highlighted at the initial stage. Okay, you have done that. And our results, how to address the novelties also. So our results found 40% better than available literature. So as you can see now, 4 points are highlighted in relation with the novelties. So, okay, so if you address your novelties in such a way in your response letter, I am sure that reviewers will be extremely happy, and he will be convinced after checking. He or she found that yes, your comments are true, professionally addressed, appropriately addressed. Certainly they will give that yes, my comments are appropriately addressed, adequately addressed, sufficiently addressed, and I am pleased to accept his revision. So another point is also, this is also the young researcher, new researcher, early career researcher face difficulties. They don't highlight the location, because as you know, reviewers, editors are very, very busy people. Okay, so based on my experience, I have seen, you know, I am also very experienced. So if authors make very challenging things for me, I need to do homework for them. I need to dig out. I need to go literature studies. I need to check the whole paper, each and every. So where is the time? And these are voluntary work. So in that case, if you make reviewer works very difficult, they will feel discomfort. Again, this will be problem for you, certainly. You know, so my view is that make your response in such a way that very reviewer friendly, convenient, easy for them to explore. Okay, language, clarity, location. So specifically show the location. So that's why I have highlighted here where you have done the correction on your paper. That is called location of correction done on your paper. So it can be a page number, it can be a line number, it can be specific tables, figures with specific page number, line number. So since these corrections are done at the introduction section, so you mentioned this has been done at the introduction section. Okay, section 2.1 or section 1.1. Okay, and last paragraph of introduction. Line number 20, page number 2. You see extremely specified location. So reviewer easily can go. And sometimes maybe since you are professional, you are honest, you have addressed the comments adequately, sufficiently. Actually, reviewers, editors may not go also to check that. Okay, so if you can convince them. So that's why you highlight at the specific location for the checking and verification. At the same time, at your comments also, you highlight that these are done here. So don't say that, hello reviewer, you go and check the page number 20. You explore my profile. Okay, these are bad approach, these are wrong approach. So you are instructing reviewers. Okay, so certainly, you know, you are creating troubles, challenging situation for you. So then the literature section also, there can be, even in literature can be separate, and it is also embedded in the introduction in both section. As you have seen, I always highlight that latest relevant references are not provided. So this is sometimes happens, latest relevant references, sufficient references are not provided. So this may be the huge major challenges, maybe because you have not given the enough latest relevant references. So this can be major comments. This also can be minor comments, depending on how you have addressed in your original paper. And also, since literature is there, you know, the one of the major comments is that it is not critically reviewed, and it is also related with the novelty. So when the literature review is not critically done, normally new researcher, young researcher, early career researcher highlight the positive findings. Weak findings, drawback, challenges, limitations are not highlighted in most cases. So that's actually not the critical review of literature. And when it is not done properly, and certainly the reviewer, editors will make such comments. So in that case, what you can do, again, you need to do the thorough study about the literature review. So authors have studied literature review from different publishers, journals, resources, theses, papers, conferences, etc. Okay, to show that you really have done your homework, literature study adequately, sufficiently, enoughly, and updated literature with latest and relevant studies with the 5 new references are included with the reference number 156. Extremely specific, very specific. Okay, so how many references you have added? 5 references. So when reviewer will go and check, yes, they can check whether they are latest, relevant. Okay, so you have done your work sufficiently, enoughly, appropriately. Okay, so you have provided here necessary informations here. So to address the critical review of literature, again, you can highlight that both strength and weaknesses, synthesis, contradiction, additional interpretation I have provided to address the critical review of literature. Again, how to critically review the literature, I have uploaded a video in my YouTube channel on how to write high impact review articles. So you can go through that video to address how to address critical review of literature. That is very important to write thesis, paper, report. So everywhere that critical review of literature is important, and this is one of the important drawbacks of young researcher, early career researcher. Again, where is the location of the correction you have made? So you highlight that. Okay, this is in page number, line number 15 to 20 on page 3. Okay, so again, editors, reviewers, journal managers who are involved can go and check and verify. So it should be verifiable. So then is the comments at the methodology part, at the experimental section. This is also important section. Here also sometimes major challenges, particularly the new researcher, early career researcher who are not well trained, who are not guided properly. So in that case, this may happen, and as a result, there will be major comments. So very important design parameters are missing. Okay, so methodologies are flawed. They are not sound, meaning that this methodology is something seriously poor. It's not strong. It is flawed. Okay, so these are the ways reviewer will make the comments. Maybe they will highlight also which parameters are not carried out based on the available literature. They can highlight each and every details over there. Okay, so in that case, authors have studied how to address response by authors. Authors have studied the literature to identify, again, by studying the literature, you can see which parameters are missing, and maybe a good reviewer also will guide which parameters are not provided, maybe temperature, concentration, or some other parameters, you know, are not identified, not addressed, so they will highlight. Okay, so again, you have studied and you have found some relevant papers, and some of the parameters you identified that these were not included, even though it was very important parameters. we have identified, and since you have identified new parameters, so you need to conduct additional experiments. So that's why work is now measure work or measure revision, because new parameters included, design of experiment is also new, so you need to generate new data. Normally these are the reasons where you need to conduct measure corrections, additional or further works need to be carried out. So you have done literature, you have identified, and additional research were also carried out, and this is where the corrections has been addressed. So it can be also statistical approach, error, validation method. All these are also not provided to make your methodology section, design of experimental section, or optimization of your analysis, optimization results. So some, modeling results, all these are not provided. As a result, your methodology part is not sound, is not strong. Okay, so again, statistical approach with necessary equations, parameters are provided in the revised manuscript, and specifically which section. So it can be also the mathematical model was not developed. So since this is a strong paper, so a model actually will make your methodology very strong. So mathematical model was not provided, some light, it was addressed lightly, some missing parameters also over there, okay. So again, you can address all these things through appropriate study in consultation with the other team members, supervisors, collaborators. So again, math model with the necessary modeling parameters are included in the revised manuscript in the specific section. Now is the another important elements, result and discussion section. Here again, major comments can be, as you know, results are just simply presented, only graphs, tables, no critical analysis, no critical discussion. Sorry. No mechanism behind the improvement, simply just trends are provided. Why they are fluctuating, increasing, decreasing. So these phenomena are not provided. Maybe one-liner answer, only one sentence, very shallow analysis. So this will make your paper also measure comments. So how to address, authors have studied some relevant literature and improve the critical discussion and the interpretation. For example, new SEM, TEM images are generated, produced, and explained in relation with the interpretation. These are additional support, additional results. Okay, maybe another way, mechanism behind this heat transfer performance improvement. You mentioned that there are heat transfer improvement, but what is the mechanism behind? What is the critical interpretation, reasoning phenomena we are missing? Again, you can do the molecular dynamic simulation to show how the heat transfer improvement is happening. Okay, so is it conduction? Is it convection? Is it radiation? Is it due to nanoparticles movement, solid liquid interface? So each and every interpretation as strongly as possible. So that's why I think the critical review of literature is also important. It's not only literature section, I think in the result and discussion section also you check how other people have explained their results and discussion, particularly heat transfer performance improvement. What is the mechanism behind heat transfer improvement in different modes, different ways? Then results are not enough. So this can be another major comment. Sometimes only few data tables and figures are provided. So this cannot be convinced to the reviewers that these are the enough results and data. So this also may happen. Maybe only a few tables and figures, not very strong. So in that case, I think there will be major comments. So new results are produced, critically analyzed, presented in the revised manuscript, and these are the locations. Comparison of literature, again in the result and discussion section, this is also one of the major comments. As you know, the comparison, validation, originality, these are basically not highlighted. Okay, so validation, as you know, that if it is a modeling work, if it is a simulation work, this needs to be validated, and this will make your comparison, your result and discussion section very, very robust, very, very strong. So if these elements are missing in your original submission, certainly you need to address. So it can be done by literature results which are available. So it can be modeling results, it can be experimental results in different way. Actually, you need to compare, you need to validate that. And also, let's say the originality are not highlighted in your result and discussion section. I think this will be one of the challenges also. Then your originalities are not addressed, is not achieved as well. So again, recheck and address that some of your results are highly novel, results are better. You have developed faster method, cheaper method, efficiency of your heat transfer improvement is 40%. So all these things I think highlight where you have highlighted, and also where you have compared. Let's say you have compared with the new references 4 or 5, or with the existing references. You highlight that these were done for this reference number 4 and 5. Okay, and presented in revised section 4.2 with the line number, page number, exactly where you have done this correction. Okay, so sometimes this is also another challenge. New researcher, young researcher, early career researcher, as you know, they want to submit as quickly as possible. So they also address the comments shallow, very fast. As a result, sometimes they don't critically analyze. So this is what I have seen with my students, with my other collaborators, researcher. I can see when I check, this is actually these are also actually the responsibility of the senior people. So when I check, I see that only one component of these comments are addressed. So certainly then I will ask my students, collaborators, other team members, there are 3 comments. So where you have addressed the other 2 comments. So since the answer is no, so then they have to address it again. This is actually the role of senior people, supervisors who are experienced actually to address each and every components, major comments, minor comments, language comments, part 1, 2, 3, and 4. So as you can see in these comments, need to conduct validation. That is 1 comments. Okay, need to conduct, or what is the mechanism behind this improvement? Comment number 2, and highlight originality. 1 comment, but there are 3 components. So if you only address the validation, I think other parts are not addressed, and this is where the reviewer will go and check that where is the originality is not highlighted, where is the mechanism. So reviewer will feel that this guy is not serious. Okay, he has addressed it very lightly, and then that you are creating an opportunity for the reviewer to reject it or to go another review process. So these are actually the false mistakes are done by ourselves, by the authors. We sometimes don't pay enough attention. Okay, so in such cases, as you can see, I have clearly highlighted with the point. As you can see, point number 1, 2, 3, you can write A, B, C, you can put bullet also, different way. You show that each and every point. And this is actually the way to impress the editors and reviewers. Actually, your addressing comments will impress the editors, reviewers. They will be, oh, this guy is serious. This guy is a professional. He or she has tried his best. So if you address this way, some of the comments, even without going through the whole manuscript, checking, actually they will give you the green signal. Because you are already professional, you are already have shown your honesty, seriousness, you are not lazy. Okay, so as you can see, number 1 is the validation. Validation was conducted with the literature results. That is the reference number 12 and 13. We have compared and we have included at section 4.5. So for component number 1, so you have addressed in section 4.5, line number 12 to 25 with the specific page number. Similarly, for the mechanism behind the improvements are explained through SEM image, TEM image, or molecular dynamic simulation on page number 20, 30, okay, and additional figures also provided on page number 12, very specific. So originality was identified, critically analyzed, highlighted on page number 30, very specifically. Okay, so as you know, the language also can be one of the major reasons for which paper also can be rejected. So this happens again, those who are weak at language, whose language are not native English. So as a result, there can be major comments, particularly if language and clarities are extremely poor. This is also drawbacks for us because some good piece of work actually cannot be read by others. It may not be cited by others also. Meaning may be different, distorted. So that's why I think it is strongly justified that language also need to be up to that level that other researcher can understand. Meanings are clear, clarities are there. Okay, so it can be language and clarities are extremely poor. Okay, so with these comments, actually, they can highlight some of the comments over the manuscript, can write also a little bit more where the corrections need to be done with some examples. So that's why they will give an overall comments and will highlight that it should be proofread by professional proofreader or by native English speaker. So this is how we address in our case. So one of the authors, for example, some of your authors may be highly experienced. They have published 400, 500 papers, very good at language. They have gone through IELTS, TOEFL, constantly learning, improving knowledge, so they are expert on language also, on clarity, because they are already experienced. So you can highlight that. One of our highly experienced authors who have very good knowledge on the language capability improvement, who has published also this many papers. So he substantially improved the whole manuscript, and corrections are done throughout the whole manuscript, highlight where the major corrections are done, particularly on language. You also can highlight there, these are the language corrections has been done, particularly on the side pen, because you can highlight there also, okay, that these are language corrections. Number two, we have proofread. So if you team members are not strong enough to address the comments, I think then you can hire professional proofreader. As you know, there are many professional proofreader. By paying the fee, actually you can address these comments, and good thing is that also you can get a certificate, but always engage professional and highly qualified proofreader. Sometimes proofreader also may cheat us also, may not address the comments appropriately. So always be careful with those who are actually professional, I mean, who are actually well recognized. Another approach also, as you know, that there are native English speakers, so we can invite them, you can invite them. Of course, sometimes there are extensive corrections are needed. Just by improving language, they cannot be invited as an author. And also, somebody has done also extensive improvement on the language. So it is also very hard, just, the putting in acknowledgement to bring them is also difficult. So that's why I think it will be good if they also have the technical expertise. So in the full content, I think the language clarity, some technical contents and language, I think this is how someone also can be listed in the authorship and can fulfill the requirement of authorship. Just by extensively improving the language actually is not justified to be author. And it is also, I think it is unfair also, somebody has done extensive correction. And in most cases, actually, they will not be interested just by being in the acknowledgement. So I think researchers also need to be very careful when we invite something. Let's make it professional way so that due credits are given them as well. Or alternatively, you can pay the fee. Okay, if somebody is also native English speaker, okay, you pay the fee and you don't need to include him as a co-author. Okay, so this one, the correction has been done in the whole manuscript. Maybe you can write also, these are the English language corrections. Okay, so now last point is actually where you have done the correction. As I mentioned at my previous slides, that you need to highlight in one file, okay, that is called the marked up manuscript or manuscript with highlight. Another manuscript with the without showing any corrections, I mean the clean manuscript. So this is one examples I have taken from some of our papers. As you can see, this is from one page. Some of the components are not highlighted and some of the components are highlighted. So these are, let's say, section 2.1, page number 2, line number 10 to 12. Okay, specifically in this area, corrections has been done to address the comments number 1, 2, or 3. Okay, this is called highlighting your correction. So meaning that you have done all the comments, corrections, language, technical, everything professionally as strong as possible, close to the perfect. Okay, so I'm sure that if you address all the comments this way, I'm sure that you can convince the editors, reviewers, and I'm sure that they will be impressed. Okay, so this is the way to impress actually the reviewers. Okay, so again, I have created the YouTube channel, particularly how to address critical review of literature, novelty, writing strong critical analysis. So all those are already available in my YouTube channel. Please explore. Those who are not subscribed yet or are not have not explored all those videos, please subscribe, share, make comments. Okay, so that others also can get benefit through your effort. I alone cannot disseminate all the knowledge. So as you can see, I spend some of my quality time based on my experience to serve the scientific community. So I also request my kind request to all of you, so that you share to other scientific community, your friends, colleagues, students, collaborators, so that they are also getting they also get benefit from this sharing. Okay, so those who are interested to pursue their higher studies at Sano University, as you can see, we have some strength. Our programs are also validated with Lancaster partnership program. So by paying only one fee, actually you are getting 2 degrees, that is Lancaster University degrees as well. So these are some unique features at Sano University. So you explore more about the Sano University and you can be with us as well. So thank you very much for your time, attention. Okay, so I hope this will be helpful to address comments professionally, strongly, and particularly, I think this is the way actually to impress reviewers, editors, panel members, so on. So if you address the comments for papers, I think you also can address these comments for your thesis, for your project proposal, for your reports. So it will not serve only writing papers. I think it also will serve purpose of thesis, report, proposal. So it has some other benefits as well. Okay, thank you again. Assalamualaikum. May Almighty bless us all.